Hi! For those watching our video for the first time, my name is Temitope Olorunfemi and I'm with
George Olorunfemi.
This time around, we're going to be talking about the man Job from my book, Graceful Encounters. Job is a man that loved God. He's a man that is very obedient to God. He does what God likes, according to God's commandments. He keeps to God's commandments, His words. Everything that God wants us to be as human beings, He was fulfilling those things. Along the line, God needed to have a meeting with His angels, and somehow the devil came into the picture, and God asked him what he was doing, and he said he was just around doing what he knows how to do best, tempting people, doing bad, doing evil. And God said, okay, my son Job, he's a very upright man. He does good, he does upright by me, and you can go and try him. God gave him the permission to try him, but God told him not to kill him. So the devil went, and started plotting those things, and Job's lost a lot of things. He lost his businesses, he lost his children, he lost his sheep, he lost, when we say lost, he lost like everything that made him somebody, everything that made him rich. He lost everything, and he started questioning, asking God. He wanted to know why those things were happening to him. He wasn't happy about the situation, but in all, he did not curse God. That's the plan of the devil. The devil wanted him to curse God, but he never did. He kept, being obedient to God, but kept asking questions. He didn't understand what was going on. He was confused, he was sad, but still did not curse God. Then Satan tried him again and told God that he wasn't doing that because he still has good health and all that. He's still living well and all that. And God said, okay, go ahead and do whatever you want to do with him, but don't kill him. God really loved Job. So he went, inflicted diseases upon diseases on him. His body was filled with sores. It was just, not having money. Your children are gone. All his animals, his flock, they've all died. They was doing things that would make him, get frustrated and curse God. But he refused to do that. He kept having faith in God. He kept knowing that. At a point though, he was tired. He started thinking that, what have I done to deserve this? Why is God doing this to me? He even cursed the day he was born. The day he was born and conceived, he was so pained that he cursed that day. Then along the line, his friends came visiting. They wanted to come and empathize with him. But when they saw him, they felt like, no, this has to be a secret. This man has been doing some secret things that God is punishing him for, and they stayed there for a while. They didn't say anything, but later one of them spoke up and started telling him that he should just confess to God, and God will definitely forgive him if he confesses. And he was like, he has done nothing. He's upright with God. He does right. He's not that kind of person that does evil. He doesn't have any secret sin. He was trying to explain to his friends, but they believed that he was actually doing stuff that he was hiding away from people saying, but God is seeing him, and that's why God was punishing him for that. But at the long run, he still did not curse God. Though he was not happy with the situation, he was so sad. He was questioning God, asking things. He wasn't just in a good mood. Any human being would not be happy to be in that situation. But the good part is he maintained his posture with God. He still respects God. Even when he's asking those questions, he's asking them in an obedient manner, a good manner, let me say. So that's the story of Job. So the next thing that we're going to be reading out the lessons learned from Job's story, and we'll take it from there. We'll be taking the first key lessons from my book, Graceful Encounters. George, do you want to go first?
Job's steadfast faith, even in the midst of intense suffering, teaches the importance of holding on one's faith during difficult times.
Exactly. So, no matter what we face in life, we should be like Job. We should stand strong. His faith, with all those things that he went through, losing his children, losing his businesses, just losing everything, but he still did not, fall short of God's love, and he kept on having faith, kept on believing that one day God will answer him. So just like Job, we should keep our faith strong. We should try our best to continue to trust God, and he will come true for us. So the second key lesson is trusting in God's wisdom. Job's ultimate realization of his own limitation and God's limitless wisdom highlights the importance of trusting in a higher power even when we don't understand the reason behind our suffering. Because God is a God that knows it all, we should put our trust in him. We should believe that God knows what is going on. We should just hang in our faith to God, believing that he knows and he will sort us out. When you trust God, God sees our heart and knows those who really trust him. When you trust him, he will definitely come true for you. I believe that it has worked for me and it can work for anybody. Just trust on God's wisdom. Trust that God knows the problem. God knows where it's coming from, and only God can sort it out. So just trust him. Then we're going to be taking the third one. George, can you go on?
Compassion and support. Job's friends, while imperfect in their approach, demonstrates the importance of offering compassion and supporting to those who are suffering, even if we may not fully understand their situation.
Yeah, so it's good for us to support people around us, that are going through difficult situation. At first, when Job's friend came around, they came to sympathize with him, they came to support him, but along the line, we're all human beings. They fall short and they started, saying things that are not correct. But even at that, they even came. So they came at all to even, support him. This part is just explaining to us that we should try and be supportive to our family members, to our friends, to our loved ones. We should just support them. It's a godly behavior, it's a godly character. Then we'll go to the next one, which is restoration and hope. The story's conclusion with Job's restoration and blessings offers hope and a reminder that suffering is not the end. It also shows that there can be light at the end of the tunnel, and that restoration is possible after hardship. Restoration is always possible after hardship. There's always, I like that word, light after the tunnel. There's always light after the tunnel. When you're in a situation where it looks like, all hope is lost, when you're anchoring onto God, He's going to sort you out. He's going to, just make things happen. Even beyond our imagination, even what we don't even think or imagine, God would, at the end of Job's story, God blessed him times 2 of what he has lost. So our God is a God of, turn things around, even beyond our imagination. We should trust him and know that he's going to sort us out. So this is the end of today's Bible story. If there's anything you've learned or something new, if there's anything new that you've learned or something that is not said in this video, you can pop it up in the comment section. And that's it for today's story about Job. Till we see you next time. Thank you for watching. Remember to
like, share and subscribe.
Thank you very much. Bye. See you in our next video.